Hi, it's Randy again. So I'm going to switch gears here and talk about dating. So I went to a meetup last night. The meetup is a group I've never gone with before. I belong to a lot of them. They tend to meet far away, and they happen to be going to Detroit, which was close to me, to one of the casinos, to the lounge where there was live music, and dinner. They were going to go to dinner. So I just hopped on right in the morning, said I was going to go, showed up there, and met a couple ladies right away that I connected with. She was one of them. She was real pretty, and she was, I think, a little bit older than myself, retired, and we hit it off. What was really funny is that as the men with the group were arriving, she was rolling her eyes, and she was like, making all these faces to me, and it was really funny. I hadn't said anything. I totally know not to expect anything of these meetups, of the caliber of men that show up there. So, she was like, oh my God, like, look at him. Oh, doesn't he look like this actor from like the 70s that was a nerd on such and such show and whatever. I'm like, I don't know, this is how it is. I never expect anything different. There's never any good looking guys that show up at these things, and they're usually like, so much older than the women that show up, and they're just yucky. They're people that you barely want to even have a conversation with, let alone would never ever consider like dating, and you don't look at them in a romantic way whatsoever. So her and I hung out, and let's see, so we went to dinner, and two of the men came to dinner, and they're pretty detestable, and we had to sit in a booth, and the way that we sat was like two men sat together, and then a woman on the end, and then three women on the other side of the booth. And one of the men was actually like complaining, like saying, what is this, girls and against boys, and like complaining that he was actually sitting by another man in the booth, like almost forcing us or making us feel bad, like this was some kind of imposition on him, and that two men shouldn't be sitting together. There should be, a lady in between them. And it's like, oh my God, it's like, no, nobody really wants to sit by you guys. And we would have never thought that that was an issue if the guy hadn't brought it up. It's like, no, you're not making us feel bad because you're sitting next to, the man, and, a woman's not in between you, whatever. So, then after dinner, there was this band, and they were pretty good. They were playing like late 70s, early 80s, dance, kind of disco and early rap type, music, fun to dance to stuff. And so we're dancing, and there was probably equal amount of men to women, which is usually unusual. Usually there's more women, but there was about a group of maybe 18 or so. It was like half and half. All the guys were dancing, and so when the women were out there dancing, almost all the guys were out there dancing too. So apparently they probably joined the meetup and went to this one because they knew it was going to be live music, and they are the type that dances. I mean, nothing against dancing. I like to dance as much as the next woman, but I don't like to dance fast with men. I mean, usually they're not good dancers anyway. And when I think of dancing, I always think of dancing with women. When I think of slow dancing, yes, of course, I'd love to dance slow with a man that I liked, but not one that I don't even want to sit by at a restaurant, let alone have him touching my waist or anything, breathing down my neck. I mean, so yeah, I do like to dance, but if a guy asks me, do I like dancing? I would say no, because I know what he means. He means, do I want to go dancing with him? Or maybe this is something we have in common. No, we don't have that in common, because I don't want to dance. I don't dance with guys, right? And you dance out there by yourself anyway. You don't really dance with people when you're dancing fast. So I don't even get what they're talking about. Slow dancing, yeah, but no. I mean, I only want to dance with somebody slow that I want to be close to. So pretty much no. So anyway, it was funny because you're out there dancing, right? And there's all these women. And I mean, like, at least, 4 or 5 were really, nice looking women, really well put together, really dressed well, out there dancing, and then these guys dancing with us. And it just reminded me of like high school, because they're playing the music from high school. And then it reminded me of like a dance where all the girls would be out there dancing, a high school dance. The girls would be out there dancing, and the guys that would dance at a dance were like the nerds or gay guys. That's what guys will be out there dancing. But the guys that you like, your boyfriend or your boyfriend and his friends and the football team, they're not dancing. They are sitting down. They're talking. They're sitting waiting for you to come back to the table to them, because they don't usually get out there and dance. Now, sure, later on when they're wasted and drunk, these athletes, these jocks, these type of guys that I would call the, cool guys, the cute guys, I'm not saying they never dance, but they don't tend to say that dancing is one of the things, that they really like, that's one of their top priorities. They just love to go out there and dance, right? So they're the type I like, is a guy that doesn't really dance. And actually there was one kind of decent guy there, and he wasn't dancing. I mean, he was the one that I would have preferred to talk to out of anyone. Excuse me, I did talk to him for a second, but these other guys that were out there dancing, it was just like, what is wrong with this picture? There's these women dancing with these nerds, and they were just in their glory, these men. Oh my gosh, they just had a great time. And then the women are just kind of rolling their eyes, okay, yeah, this is fun. I'm glad you're having a good time. You're sweating away, how great this was, that you guys had a good time, Not that we didn't have a good time, but I told this lady, you don't ever expect to meet anybody at a meetup, not a guy. You go there to meet women and for something to do that night. If you have nothing else to do, you want to go out, meet new people, be out and about. You don't go there because you think you're going to meet any man, because you never do. So anyway, I did get a phone number, and it was the ladies. We exchanged phone numbers, so maybe I have a new buddy. But it is a female, and yeah, it was like Revenge of the Nerds or something last night. Alright, thanks for listening.